Hello, it's Petra here, and we have got an exciting video today because I'm going to be speaking to one of my amazing clients. She was a consulting client a couple of years ago, and now she's up and running. We are going to be talking about the truth of supported living. And those of you that do not have a care background, my client Remi does not have a care background. So you especially need to keep and stay tuned. So, hi, Remi, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you, Petra. How are you?
I am really great, and you have been such a blessing, just such a wonderful person to know over the years. And today I thank you for, sharing your story with the world because my videos have gotten so popular these days, right? So it's literally the world at this point.
Wow.
So just share your story. We're just going to ask you have a conversation about, your background, and what it's been like to actually start your own CQC registered supported living business, and what's it been like working with me. So we're going to dive into that. Now, disclaimer, those of you that are watching now, Remi was a consulting client. I no longer do consultancy. I no longer do mentoring. If you want to work with me to set up your CQC registered supported living service, it's going to be now through our franchise network. All you need to do is go to www.phgfranchise.co.uk and download the guide, read the guide, and then you can book a consultation with me. Okay, so Remi, let's talk about, when did we meet and how did you find me?
Oof, gosh, it was back in, I believe, 2021. So we were in the middle of the pandemic and I was listening to Clubhouse. The previous year, I'd actually come back from Kuwait. So I'd been working in Kuwait for 7 years. I came back because of the pandemic, wanted to be back home with my family. And I was just looking at what things I could do because I was in the fashion industry and a lot of the fashion houses were closing down. And I just thought, I don't want to get back into fashion. I'm a woman of a certain age. And I thought, I don't want to be competing with younger people. So what can I do? So I'd already had a few properties that I was renting out. And I thought, well, maybe what I'll do is I'll, treat property more of a business. So then I started listening to Clubhouse. I started listening to the property rooms. And then I came across the kings and queens of property.
Oh,
Yeah, do you remember
yes.
that
Yes,
Clubhouse room?
yes.
Yeah, I started listening to that. And I was listening to you. You were talking about, supported living and, what it entails. And it takes a certain kind of person to be a supported living business owner. And I don't know, it just sort of piqued my interest because it was kind of related to property, but it was also providing a service as well, because I just wanted that little bit extra with the property. So I booked a call with you and you were telling me about, it's really, really fulfilling, really rewarding. Your clients, they give you lots of joy. And it's a really good business. And when I was speaking to you, I thought, yeah, this is exactly what I want. It's a combination of property and it's a combination of giving a service. So yeah, I spoke to my son about it. I spoke to him about the conversation that we'd had, and he said, yeah, that sounds really good, Mum. It sounds like something that's definitely suited to you. And he said, I'll come in with you as well as a business partner. So that's how it all started.
Brilliant. So you don't have a care background. Can you share with me exactly what have you learned? In fact, no, let's not go there yet. Let's talk about would you say was your major challenge or your biggest challenge when setting up this supported living service?
So I'd say for me, the biggest challenge really was getting the right manager. Um, so I started working with you. You started with helping me advertise for a manager, setting up the website, all of that. You took care of. But actually finding the right manager that I know that I could work with, that I could trust to run my business, I would say was the biggest challenge. So initially we did get a manager. He was very good.
So the first manager, he actually passed the nominated individual interview, and he also passed the registered manager's interview, didn't he?
No, actually.
Oh.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
No, he didn't. So basically what he did was he got the tenders for me
Mm-hmm.
for the local authority, and he had the registered managers interview, but because he'd had personal problems, do you
Yeah,
remember? Do you
that's
remember?
right.
Yeah, do you
Yeah,
remember? So we had the nominated individual and the registered managers interview on the same day, but he'd had some really serious problems prior to that,
we did.
and he didn't really do his homework. And I think that's the key, because he was quite capable. He was
Yeah.
very capable of passing, but he just hadn't done his homework because he was distracted with other things. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, he did not pass.
Yeah.
So, we ended up parting ways, but, everything was cordial. There was no bad feeling or anything. He just had things that he needed to sort out in his life.
And
Um,
these things happen. And that's why I really wanted Remi to come and speak to you about this, because he wanted to talk about the truth of what happens
yeah,
in the setting up of the service.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and then you had a second registered manager.
Yeah, I mean, I was absolutely devastated when he didn't pass, because you have to start the process all over again. So we got another registered manager. He flew through the interview, both interviews. He was really, really good, and but unfortunately, he had to part ways. He had other stuff that he needed to do. So then last year we started to look for a new manager for me that could take the business forward. That could actually. Yep, sorry. Yeah.
Can I ask you as well? So, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always talking about that you have to have tenacity, you have to have grit to be a business owner. So, what kept you going during those times, especially the time when you've had like two registered managers? What kept you going? How did you not lose faith at this point?
I think because I really wanted this. It was either this or what. I didn't know what else I wanted. There was nothing else I wanted to do. So it's either that or nothing. So I'm not going to give up. I just
Mhm.
wasn't going to give up. And also, Petra, I've got to say, you kept me motivated, because, what, after the first manager didn't pass the interview, I was really, not demoralized, but I was a bit disappointed and deflated. And I thought, oh no, spent so much time. He'd done so much good work. He'd managed to get me a property. He'd got me I was on the tender list for two local authorities. He'd done all
Mhm.
this work. And then for him to not pass, I was really disappointed. But you kept me going. You said, no, we're not giving up. We're not giving up. Get you another manager. You're going to pass this interview. You'll be fine. And I thought, you know what? She's right. And every time I did feel down, after I spoke to you, you just boosted me and lifted me up again, because
Yeah.
you must have seen something in me
I
that
did.
yeah, you must have done, because I didn't see it.
You were just like a really fast decision maker, and
Yeah,
you literally done exactly what I told you to do, which is what I love.
I did. I had to. I didn't know any better. I had to. I didn't know what I was doing.
So tell us about the third manager now.
So the third manager, she started with me in January.
January
Um,
2024.
24, yeah, literally
Yeah.
5 months ago, 4 months ago. She's really good. She's got a lot of experience, and she's got a lot of tenacity as well, which is what I like about her. I actually call her the little Rottweiler, because
Mhm.
yeah, she just gets stuff done. Yeah, she really does.
So
So
in terms of, I actually supported you and helped you, didn't I, with
yeah,
the interviews. So
yeah.
what would you say my interview style was like when I'm interviewing the registered managers? Because this
It-
is so important. No, I always talk about that as directors, and especially if you don't have a care background, you can choose how much or how little you actually want to work in the service. But I wanted to make sure that all the people that I work with, especially those that don't have a care background, have a registered manager that knows the job, that has the experience, that has the knowledge, but also the values and the personality and a bit of feistiness as well. I think with the registered manager is so important, because you as a director aren't going to be doing the day-to-day activities of the registered manager. So would you say that I shared with her exactly what her expectations are?
yeah, absolutely. And just in your questioning, just the way you question in the interviews, you made sure that whatever was required for that role, that they could demonstrate and give clear examples. So there was no real, you know, query about whether this person could do the job or not. And if they couldn't answer the questions as you asked them, then it was clear that they couldn't, you know, they weren't going to be the right person. And we, when we were doing the interviews, I think we kind of knew, we knew if we liked this person or not, didn't we? Because sometimes we'd message each other and say, this one's really, really good. I really like this one. So we kind of both had a feel for who was the right person. And then with my feel, your feel, and then your expertise in terms of getting the right answers out of those, you know, the questions. I think that combination was good. You know, because obviously that person has to be right for me as well. I have to know that I can work with that person as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. So you've hired your current registered manager.
Mhm.
How did you because obviously you don't have a care background, and have you ever managed anyone before?
Yeah, I've always
You
been
have.
in management. I've been in management roles for like 20 odd 30 years. Yeah.
Okay, good. So you got your registered manager. When did you start in fact, let me ask you, when did you start getting referrals though?
Started getting referrals with the first with the first manager who
Yeah.
didn't pass his registration. So he actually put together the tenders, sent through the tenders to the local authorities, and we won on 2 in terms of getting onto their portals. So we actually started getting tenders in 2022. So
So what you're saying is
referrals, I should say.
referrals. So what you're saying is you started to get referrals before you were CQC registered.
Yeah. Now I
Thank
don't.
you.
Yeah, no,
Thank you for saying it because I always talk about it all the time.
and I think that helps. That actually helps because once the second manager came on board, or the manager that I have now came on board, we already had all the lots of referrals coming through. So it's just a case of once she started with me, she hit the ground running and just started bidding on these referrals straight away because it was already set up.
And it's straight away. So once
Yes,
you've got a contract, the referrals come straight away. And you received lots of referrals, didn't you?
so many referrals, particularly from one of the local authorities. You know, the other one was okay, but the second one we're still getting referrals almost every day. Yeah.
Brilliant. So how long did it take you once you got your manager? Do you remember how long it took you to get your first service user?
So my manager started with me in January, and the
Mhm.
first service user moved in on something like the 11th of April. So within 3 months. But
That's
you know, we were ready. We were ready like within probably within 6 weeks. But
That's
obviously
fantastic.
dealing with local authorities and, you know, red tape and certain things, you know, certain things had to be in place on their side before the person could move in. So, but yeah,
Yes.
January to April, 3 months.
Brilliant. And then how did you feel like getting your first service user? How did you feel? What happened? Like, what was the process like?
So the process was, so we bid on these tenders, and then the commissioner wanted to come around and have a look at the property because obviously they'd never dealt with us before. So we invited them round. We made sure that the property was, you know, beautiful. We furnished it. Looks great, actually. And the commissioner came round also with another colleague of hers, and they were wowed by the property. They just said, this is amazing. And they said it was really refreshing to have new business in the area that brings something fresh and new. Because, you know, we said to them, you know, we don't want to be like everybody else. We don't just want to bring people in. We want to actually make a difference, and we want them to live in a house where they feel it's their home and they feel comfortable. And this is a place that I would be happy to live in. So, you know, I'm sure our service users will be happy to live there. And the commissioner even said, you know, have you got space for 2 other people? Because we could move in here, you know, just laughing. But she said it's lovely. It's really, really lovely, spacious. And yeah, she was happy and comfortable with us, you know, signing up with them.
That is amazing. So he moved in, and then what happened next?
So after that, then we got another referral. We bid on that, and the gentleman moved in literally a month later. So we've now got 2 service users that are in place. And just yesterday, I mean, we've been discussing about other service users as well. And there was some that weren't quite right, that have fallen by the wayside. There's another one that we went to visit yesterday. We did an assessment. I actually don't always go on the assessments with my manager, but for me, it's more of a learning thing.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
like to just go, but I let her do all the talking. She's the expert.
Yeah.
And we went to visit somebody else yesterday, and they're very keen to come and visit the property, and they're coming today, actually.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I won't be there, but my manager, she'll be there, obviously, and she'll take them around the property, give them a tour. And it looks like, yeah, that this is a definite that they'll be moving in.
That is brilliant. And
Yeah.
no, we work with adults 18 to 65 that have got mental health needs. So we work with people that have got drug misuse issues, alcohol misuse issues, personality disorders, eating disorders, mood disorders. When you first visited, or when the first person came to visit you, how did you view him as a person? I'm asking this because when I'm speaking to people, especially who don't have a care background, they think, oh my God, are they dangerous? Like, what are they going to do? Like, what was it like having a conversation? And what was it like speaking to him?
To be honest with you, it's just like speaking to anybody else. It's just that they've got they've got certain difficulties or issues that they're dealing with. But it's just like speaking to anybody, just an everyday person, no different from anybody. And I think people maybe outside of the industry think, oh, I could never do that sort of job. But well, why not? Why not? For me, it's not just a job. It's I don't know. I think this is something that I was made to do, that I was
Mhm.
born to do, because I've always been that sort of person that's been very supportive anyway, with friends and family. That's just who I am. So for me, it's just normal. It's just somebody's got an issue, they need support, they need our help. We're here to try and support them and help them.
I'm so glad you said that as well, because that's how I feel. I feel like when I started Prosperity Housing Group, I really wanted to help people, to let them know that they've got a purpose and that they belong somewhere and they've got skills that, yes, the skills are dormant inside them, but they do have skills and they can be useful, to the community. And I love that about you, that's where I remember our first conversation, you basically spoke to me about that was where your heart was. And I think that's when, as someone setting up this business, where it really, really matters, and when it really becomes successful, because you're able to relay that to
Mm.
commissioners, social workers, and they
Yeah.
can see that you actually care about the service users and the service that you're offering.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, most of it is about confidence, I believe. They just don't have that confidence, and they just need to know that there's somebody there that they can fall back on, or that can give them advice, or that can support them, that's not going to just ignore them and just, let them fall by the wayside. And this is what we say to our service users: we're here. You know.
Mhm. And in terms of confidence, so this is your first supported living service.
Mm.
How did you what did you have to learn to go from zero knowledge of care to then now managing staff and being responsible for people's health and well-being?
Okay, well, I know you know this, but you're not going to believe this. So basically, when we were waiting for the second interview to come through, I thought, well, I've got time to kill, So I thought, what can I do? How can I learn more about this industry? Because I still didn't really know anything. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and work for a care company. And that's what I did. I went to work for a care company as a support worker. So, administering personal care,
Mhm.
doing all the things that I never thought I'd be able to do. Um, but you know what? When I was sat doing the training, they did like a 3-day training induction course. And when I was sat there, I thought, gosh, about a year or so ago, I was sat in my posh office in Kuwait with my little suit and, thinking that, I knew everything.
Mhm.
For what? What was I actually achieving? You know,
Mhm.
and being sat there being spoken to about, care, support, personal care, dementia, supporting people, that to me
Mhm.
was the real world. I thought, this is real. This is actually really doing something that's worthwhile. And
Mhm.
that for me just reinforced it. And then working for the care company, it just it just opened my eyes to, what it would actually really entail. Although it was slightly different because it was mainly elderly that I've been doing, but it
Mhm.
also still just gave me that insight into the world of support. and, you know, systems, what systems are in place. It's helped me with looking for systems for my own business as well, in terms of knowing what's available. So yeah, so it's been a great experience doing actual care work. I mean, I'm just about finishing this week. But yeah, for me, it's been really rewarding, you know, and really, I've learned a lot.
Brilliant. And what would you say, in your opinion, was it like being mentored by me?
Oh, it's been great. Because, and I'm not just saying this, because now when I speak to people about what I'm doing, I actually feel very knowledgeable. You wouldn't, I'm not saying that you wouldn't know I've not got a care background. You still would know, you know, because
Yeah.
there's things that I don't know, but I've learned so much, you know. And when I speak to people, they just say, well, gosh, you know, considering you've not got a care background, you seem to understand what you're doing. Or you say, well, said, yeah, but because I've had a really great mentor, you know. So, and I literally followed everything that you said, because I didn't know any different. So I had to do exactly everything that you told me to do, and it's paid off. It's
Yeah.
when I was thinking, oh, should I really, what, how do I do that? And you'd push me and you'd say, no, this is what you need to do. And I'd do it. And I'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's worked. Not that I had any doubts. It's just, I just didn't know. I was just ignorant. But
Yeah.
over time, I've learned so much. Yeah.
And what's great about you though, Remi, is that any questions, you always email me.
Yeah, I
And
do.
that's what I love. I love that you always kept that communication, always knew what you was up to.
Yeah.
And if I didn't hear from you, I'd be like, hey, Remi, what's going on? Give me an update, please. But
Yeah.
you would always ask questions. It didn't even matter. You didn't overthink anything.
No, because I
You just,
didn't know.
yeah,
If I'm
yeah.
asking a question, it's because I really don't know. Or sometimes I'd be thinking, well, shouldn't I be thinking about this for this? Because I'm thinking about my background in terms of fashion, and because I used to work with numbers and stuff. And I'd ask you a question, you'd just say, no, you don't need to do that because of this. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, if I had a question, I'm emailing Petra and you'd
Good.
come back to me. Yeah.
How quickly do I come back to you? Because people think, because I'm traveling and, I live somewhere else, I live in Dubai now, people think I don't respond to my emails. How do I respond to my emails? Please tell the world.
You know, it's usually this within a few hours or the same day, but definitely within 24 hours. Definitely within 24 hours. I'm never kept waiting. Never.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So why would you recommend? I mean, obviously I'm biased. I think that supported living is one of the brilliant business models because one, we are really helping people that are vulnerable, people that, have never had their own tenancy, people that have never made a chicken curry, we're really helping vulnerable people. And not only that, but we're providing employment. And
Yeah.
then also with this business, it is also recession proof as well. That's why I think this is a great business model. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree with all those points. And the other thing I would say is do it for the right reason. Make sure you're
Hmm.
doing it for the right reason, because it's not easy. And if you're just doing it for the money and then things go wrong, you're probably not going to follow it through. But if you're doing it for the right reason, you will follow it through, and then the money will come anyway, you know. So that's what I would say. Just make sure that your heart's in it, and you really want this, because it's
Absolutely.
not for the faint-hearted. It's definitely
Mhm.
not for the faint-hearted.
That's true. And it's literally a heart-centered business.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to lead with. One thing I've noticed is that when I have consultations and people say, so what are the cash projections? Like when they say that to me, I'm thinking, no,
Mm.
this is right for you.
Not for you,
Not
because
right for you.
they won't stick to it. They won't stick to it if that's all they're doing it for. Do something else. Do something easier. You know,
Mm.
this is it's tough, but it's once you get there, it's so rewarding. Yeah.
It is rewarding. And then, it's like you've basically got one service user a month, which is great. So you're actually on track now, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
So what would you encourage people if people wanted to come and work with me? How would you encourage them? What would you say?
Well, I would say speak to you for first and foremost.
Mm.
Just get more of an insight into, you know, what is this business, and if it speaks to you personally
Mm.
as a person, then just go with it and just trust the process. I know all along, you've always said, trust the process. And that's what I'm going to lead with. Trust the process, because it does work. I'm
That's
I'm living proof. You know, I'm not saying I've made it yet, but we're definitely on the road to, we're there. You know, we've got our first 2 service users, the third one hopefully moving in next month. Or yeah, well, we're almost in next month anyway. So yeah, next month. So yeah, like you said, 1 a month. I didn't even look at it like that. 1 a
yeah,
month.
and that's fantastic. But you know what? Yes, you're right. Trust the process and just do exactly what I tell you to do.
Yeah, yeah,
Do what I tell you to do, trust the process, and come to the mentoring sessions.
yeah.
You was at all of them. And if you didn't attend, you would always email me and listen to the recordings. But how valuable is it to listen to other people in the group as well?
It is definitely. And we've got our own little WhatsApp group now, so that, you know, after Petra, you know, we can still support each other, which is really, it's been really helpful actually. Yeah. So
Good.
yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Remi. Is there anything else that you would like to share or anything else you'd like to say before we sign off?
No, I think I said when I said earlier, trust the process and do everything that you're told to do, and it will
Yeah.
work. It will pay off. Yeah.
Thank you. And just to remind you, Remi is or was a consulting client. I no longer offer consultancy or mentorship. All of the mentorship that I do is now within our franchise network. Okay. And our franchise network is growing. And I'm just so pleased. Okay. So all you need to do is go to www.phgfranchise.co.uk, download the guide and book a call with me. Okay. Everyone that I work with, what I'm so passionate about is you becoming successful, you living out your dreams. This isn't just about daydreaming about it. It's about, you know, something. Yes, I want to do it. I know that I've made this decision internally. I want to start my own CQC registered supported living business, and I need support to do that. Okay. I don't want to start it completely from scratch. You can start within our franchise model and, you know, we'll get you up and running. Okay. And also, what is so important to understand is that I actually run a supported living business. I actually run it myself, okay? Because a lot of other consultants don't necessarily run their own supported living service. And you may get information from that person, from this person, but you've literally seen Remi, okay, who does not have a care background, that now has a registered manager, staff, and two service users and contracts. Okay, this is because she works with myself and Jessica. Okay, so we're here for you. Thank you so much, Remi, for this time.
Lovely.
And obviously keep in touch. You do anyway. And let me know how you're getting on. And I'll see you soon. Oh, remember to also follow me on Instagram, which is Petra Foster _. And I'll see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.